We've got ourselves a series, hockey fans. Bruce Cassidy out. David Pastrnak's next. Welcome back, hockey fans. Welcome in if this is your first time to the channel. I'm Josh. This is the Hockey Flow, and tonight it's Tuesday, June 7th, 2022. Rangers Lightning just wrapped up. Tell you what, if you're a Lightning fan, you are very happy right now. Rangers fans, you're on the other end of that spectrum, and I do apologize. I know what it feels like, but hey, series is tied, but that's enough about that. We'll get into that in just a moment on Today in Hockey. But first and foremost, we gotta go through headlines, then we'll get into today's game. No game to pick for tomorrow since the Oilers went ahead and got swept by the Avalanche. Be sure to check out my video I did yesterday on Cale Makar. That was a real fun one. Is he the best defenseman in the NHL right now? We are going to conclude the video with another excellent article deep dive, though, since we're not picking anything. Today we're looking at the Boston Bruins, and, we got a lot of changes happening right now. What are they doing? What can they do? We're going to unpack all of that with the help of The Athletic, so stay tuned for that. But before I forget, if you do enjoy the content, take a moment, like the video, go ahead, subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate it. It helps us out a ton, especially as we're just getting started out. We're going to keep bringing you videos daily either way, but I really do appreciate it. Hope you join me on this hockey journey. But without further ado, let's get right into it, shall we? All right, headlines. First and foremost, Dallas Stars, you guys did re-sign one of your own. Denis Gurianov did sign a one-year deal. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a big fan of his game. I know he hasn't really reached his full potential, but man, you see some of those flashes, and it's fun to watch. So hopefully he can tap into the rest of that. Hopefully their new head coach can bring that out in him, and they can get the maximum potential, right? All right, Seattle Kraken, a little unfortunate news that just came through this evening. Chris Driedger is out, torn ACL. He suffered a torn ACL a little while back, actually, so he's going to miss the beginning of the season. It's a 6 to 9 month rehab. Really unfortunate. The Kraken really thought they had that goaltending position shored up, and it definitely did not live up to what they were expecting. But we wish him a speedy, quick recovery. Hopefully he's back real soon and playing great for the Kraken. All right, we did have a game tonight. Rangers Lightning, I wouldn't say it was an amazing game by any means. Lightning were winners 4-1. The series is tied. We did have a few observations. Didn't make me necessarily stand up out of my chair too many times. Kucherov looked great, but I tell you what, I am a sucker for team defense, and the Lightning tonight, there were a few highlights that, especially during intermission, they showed a few, and it just made me drool almost. Seeing everyone working in unison, stifling the puck in the neutral zone, forcing the puck to the outside, it was brilliant. I did say we had 0 goals. I did update that just before they snuck that empty netter, they snuck that one in at the end, but we did give up 1 goal. Rangers, honestly, probably could have had a few others too. Vasi played really well tonight, right? If he played like he did the first couple of games, maybe we're not having this conversation. But Stamkos, Kucherov, they did dazzle tonight. Stamkos, he did have 1, but man, he definitely, he could have had another, could have had maybe 3. Kucherov has looked great. I think I saw today he's the 4th ever player with 20 plus points in 3 straight postseasons. Like, my goodness, are you kidding me? But Rangers fans, you got to be concerned, right? The injuries are starting to mount up. Philip Hedl and Ryan Strome, they did. We did lose Hedl tonight, and Strome didn't end up playing. There was very optimistic that he was going to, and boy, he really pushed it in warm-ups. But without those two, man, I'm not sure what we're going to do, especially the Lightning seem to be playing really well right now. Pat Maroon scores that first goal. That's a 4th-line play. Zach Bogosian, man, he looked like a spring chicken out there with the puck dangle on the assist, quote-unquote. But overall, it was a fun game if you're a Lightning fan. And Rangers fans, don't take anything from it. Igor, he played fine. Nothing was glaring in that regard. The defense didn't play great. But you know what? It's a new series now, right? That's it. Who's going to seize this momentum? Who's going to forget about the last 4 games and look at this as a fresh start? We got game 1. We can seize the momentum and hopefully win the second one. And at that point, you've won 4 in the series. And you're moving on to the Stanley Cup Finals to play the Colorado Avalanche. So yeah, that's going to do it for that. We're going to jump right into it. Back to The Athletic. Man, I love The Athletic. We bring you The Athletic mostly because it's pay to subscribe, but also because it's got amazing content. Today we're looking at a David Pastrnak trade and full rebuild loom as a possible next step for Bruins. And this one's brought to us by Fluto Shinzawa. And I tell you what, this one was a fun one because the Bruins are really in an odd time right now. We're at a spot where we don't know exactly what the Bruins are, what they want to be. We have a head coaching change, and I know Bruins fans, the opinion on Twitter seems to be you're not happy about that. Let me know in the comments. I know Bruce Cassidy's not going to have any trouble finding a job. Unpacking though why he was fired, it does appear that it was his touch with the young players and how he didn't give them a huge chance. They didn't feel like they could make mistakes. That's part of, if you're wanting to rebuild, you have to always refresh talent, right? That's the key to these dynasties, these teams that can just continuously win, is you're always refreshing talent while making the right choices with who you let go and who you sign. And the Bruins, don't have a very good track record, and I'm a historian. I love history, and so I like to look to the past. And Fluto did a fantastic job with this article. There's one in particular, but essentially we start, and David Pastrnak, he sees what's going on, right? Bruins fans, you know the story. It goes back to Torrey Krug not getting re-signed. That's his best bud. We're gonna see him right here doing their spinning. That's his best friend, and he didn't like that the GM Don Sweeney decided, he can walk. That's fine. He saw that, right? He also saw that they didn't bring back Krejci. They didn't. David Krejci didn't. They didn't make much of an effort to keep him and make him stay. He kind of even gave them that out, like, yeah, if you make it worth my while, absolutely. And they didn't really do that. So it's one of those things where the article presents, there's a source that says Pasternak's not coming back if Sweeney's still the GM. And, let me know in the comments, Bruins fans, who you would take or who you want in this situation. I think I know who you're going to go with. But extension talks are ever present. The Bruins can offer the max deal, 8 years, $68 million. That's a good deal, right? That's a lot of money. That's security. But Pasta may feel he is worth more, right? And Temi Panarin, for example, signed for a little longer than that, a bigger deal with the Rangers in free agency. So Pastrnak maybe looks at it like, well, maybe I can make more annually. Maybe it's not even necessarily about the years, maybe it's more about the dollar figure, right? So it's interesting to look at what can be done on the open market. But the Bruins right now, they're in pole position, right? You want to re-sign your star winger, you want to re-sign your 40 goal man. What direction are you guys headed in? And this article does a really good job at pointing out the differences. Do we want to go through a rebuild, or is it supplementing an aging roster? Patrice Bergeron hasn't made a decision if he wants to play yet next year. I think if he does, that probably sets the wheels in motion that, all right, let's make one more run at it, try to supplement what's on the team. But Brad Marchand, he's 34, coming off of hip surgery, not going to be available for the start of the season. They're aging, right? Charlie McAvoy is the number one piece. The article does mention him as well. He's a 24-year-old, defenseman, Norris Trophy candidate, potentially. But at the end of the day, we have to learn from the past, right? Like every team understands that you have to phase out certain players at some point. Players are going to age out, so it's about what you do with them, right? And Milan Lucic is a perfect example of this. Back in 2015, the Bruins had a choice to make: do we pay him or do we let him go because we don't want to pay him? And they decided to trade him to the Kings, and the return that they got back was pretty substantial, and they used that to make other trades. And at the end of the day, when the dust is settling, we are now 7 years removed from that trade, and I don't think there was really anything that successful from it, and that's the problem, right? Bad drafting decisions, signings not panning out, spending your money in the wrong place. But at the end of the day, Pasta is going to demand a lot, whether it's contract, right, or it's going to be if they want to trade him. They're not going to settle for what they got for Lucic, right? They can't do that. So you have to go and you have to look at, okay, we need more. We need a guaranteed first round pick. Mr. Shinzawa does talk about, yes, we have a first round, or we have to guarantee a first round pick. Then you need a second. Then you need a young NHL player. Then you need a prospect. That's a lot to ask, right? But Pasta, he's a 40 goal scorer. He's one of the best wingers in the NHL. I think you pay it, right? I think you do if you're a rival team. But Bruins fans, I don't know what you should do right now. Looking at the roster, I almost feel like you should lean into a rebuild a little bit. But same token, you have a lot of really good talent on that team. If you could make it through the beginning and get everyone back healthy, ready to go, and you're not dead last, I don't know, you could probably make a run, right? A lot of it depends on that Tendy situation. Is Swayman, is he your guy? fingers crossed. But let me know in the comments. This one was fun. I'm really curious to see what the Bruins do this offseason, see where Pasta goes. But again, let me know in the comments what you guys think. We do have a giveaway going on. This is going to do it for the video, but we are doing a giveaway right now. We're on that race to 100 subscribers. We're just getting started, so I appreciate all the support, absolutely. Once we get closer to the 100 subscriber mark, I'll let you know if there's anything else, any calls to action, liking, any of that stuff. But for right now, we just got to get to 100 subscribers, and we're going to give away something hockey related. I really appreciate you guys. Let me know in the comments what topics we should cover. We got off season just around the corner as well, so I'm really excited to just keep talking hockey with you guys. But until next time, cheers!